Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my retro review for Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, which came out in 1955. It is the last Mummy movie in the classic run of Universal Monsters. Again, kind of weird that it's happening in an Abbott and Costello comedy, but it's also the final movie that Abbott and Costello made with Universal. 28 movies with Universal, and this is their last one. Abbott and Costello play two Americans that are in Egypt and are hired to help transport the mummy Clarice, the protector of Princess Ara, but they find that their employer is killed by some treasure seekers who are set to steal the mummy for themselves, and also a sacred medallion. And considering the nature of Abbott and Costello, hijinks ensues when it comes to who has control over this medallion or the mummy. A couple weeks ago, I made the decision to review all the Clarice mummy movies in one video. Back in 2017, when the Tom Cruise mummy was coming out, I reviewed the original Boris Karloff classic, and while I really enjoyed that movie, the Clarice movies don't really have that much to offer that warrants committing several individual reviews for them. If anything, I think that series is the worst of the classic Universal Monster series. And now that I've actually seen Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, I kind of wish this review was part of that compilation video, because I don't really have much to say about this one. It's funny that when I reviewed The Mummy's Hand a couple weeks back, I looked at it and went, these two main characters are just bumbling fools. Why didn't you just make an Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy movie? And lo and behold, they did 15 years later. Words cannot describe how incredibly lazy and boring I found this movie to be. First of all, Abbott and Costello are playing themselves. Now, they normally do that in all their movies. They're not playing anyone outside themselves. But in this movie, they're playing themselves to the point where their characters' names are Abbott and Costello. Like, no originality to that at all. The mummy in this movie is named Clarice instead of Caris. Instead of Princess Ananka, you have Princess Ara. Like, they just didn't even try with this movie in terms of making it stand out from the previous movies. Unlike the time when Abbott and Costello met the Frankenstein monster and the Invisible Man, I didn't find this movie all that funny. It's not chuckle-worthy like the last two movies, but there are two moments that actually did get some laughs out of me. Not hard laughs like in the last two films, but chuckles nonetheless. The first is when Costello eats the medallion that takes them to the tomb of Princess Ara, and in order to get the coordinates to that location, since they can't really cut him open or have him vomit or shit it out, they take an x-ray of him and they decide to shake him all around until the medallion's kind of in place in his stomach to give them the location. It's dumb, but at the same time, it's pretty creative. And then when you get to the big chase at the end of the movie where Abbott and Costello finally meet the mummy, it's pretty much a fun proto-Scooby-Doo chase like in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. You have a couple of characters, including Bud Abbott, that are dressed like the mummy, and it's just a case of mistaken identity. It's chaotic, but considering how boring I found the rest of the movie, it was enough to make me go, okay, this could work as an isolated scene, and it's pretty good. Because everything else beforehand, I just didn't even find to be chuckle-worthy. I just found myself annoyed at points, mainly because most of this movie is set up. This movie is an hour and 19 minutes, which is not a surprising runtime for these kinds of movies. I mean, it's the longest of the Mummy sequels, but that first hour is just nothing but setup and Abbott and Costello acting like their usual selves. Clarice does show up a tiny bit throughout the movie, but at a certain point, you kind of forget that this movie even has a mummy until the last 19 minutes where we finally get what the title of the movie is. It's another aspect that they took from The Mummy's Hand where it takes forever for us to actually get to the meat of the story. And again, it's only for 19 minutes. Honestly, the best part about this movie actually has nothing to do with the movie itself. At the beginning of the movie, Abbott and Costello are watching this incredible acrobatic show where you have all these people just doing flips, getting into fights, and then picking themselves back up. It's fast-paced, it's really entertaining to watch, it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but I just found it so enjoyable that it ended up being the best part of this really dull, unoriginal, lazy comedy. Don't waste your money on it. Now, it doesn't end in a way like Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man did, where that ending just kind of tainted the rest of the movie, but it's a slog to get through. I found myself nodding off halfway through the movie, late at night, had to stop it, go to bed, and pick it up the next day. That's how boring this movie is. Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man might be the most well-made, I guess, but Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is still the most iconic, so I'd probably recommend that one over these other two, especially this one. And it more or less demonstrates how mediocre the classic Mummy movies were back in the day. I know for my generation we have the Brendan Fraser Mummy and The Mummy Returns, and we finally are getting Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz reuniting for a new Mummy movie with Radio Silence directing it, so I'm excited for that. But that's the only series that kind of elevates the Mummy franchise overall, reboots and all, because the classic run of Mummy movies is undoubtedly the worst of the classic Universal Monster series. And there you go, that's my review for Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. I hope you enjoyed it. Now we are done with these Abbott and Costello monster comedies, but there is one monster left that came very late into the game, and is honestly one of my personal favorites. And that monster in question is the Creature from the Black Lagoon. We only have 3 movies left, the Creature from the Black Lagoon trilogy, and we'll cover all 3 of those movies next week, starting with this classic right here. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day, and if you want to help to financially support the channel, you could do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. If you've seen it, whatever your opinion is, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.